Dear students, today we will see a topic from chapter 3. The name of the chapter is Private, Public and Global Enterprises. And the name of the topic is Government Company, its features, advantages and disadvantages. So we'll start with meaning of government company. Uh, Companies Act 2013 has defined government company. Section 2, subsection 45 of Companies Act, a government company means any company in which not less than 51% of the paid up capital is held by the central government or by any state government, or partly by central government and partly by one or more state governments, and includes a company which is a subsidiary of a government company. So this is a clear definition of government company. Let us simplify. So in short we can say a government company is one where the shares not less than 51% is held by central government alone or state government alone, or combination of central and state government, means partly by central government and partly by one or more state governments. Such 51% of the paid up capital, if it is held by the government, we call it as government company. A government company may be formed as a private limited company or a public limited company. We have in my previous classes we have seen types of companies. So there are two types, public company and private company. So government company can be a public company or private company, but certain provisions need to be followed by the government when they are forming government company in case of appointment or retirement of directors and other managerial personnel. So if when they are appointing directors, or when any director is getting retired, or any other managerial positions if they are going to appoint or retire, they have to follow certain provisions. Now, government purchases the shares of the government company. So, the shares will be purchased on the name of the President of India. So, on the name of President of India, all the shares will be purchased. As more than 50% of the stake remains with the government will have maximum government will exercise maximum control on the company. That is why we call it as government company. What are the features of government company? First one, it is an organization created under the Companies Act 2013 or any other provisions, any other previous company law. Now we have already seen features of joint stock company. Here also the features are very similar because it is joint stock company only. Only here the case is stock company gets a separate legal status. Here also government company will also get a separate legal status. Government company is called as artificial company. They can enter into any contract. It is similar to joint stock company, so there is no difference. It is an organization created under Companies Act 2013 or any other previous company law. So it might be Companies Act 1956 or Companies Act 2013. If they are following the rules and getting it registered, then we call it as government company. The company can file a suit in a court of law against any third party and can be sued by any party, vice versa. So after getting registered, company can file any case against the third party, and any third party can file a case against company. Company can enter into a contract and can acquire property in its own name. So once company gets registration certificate, incorporation certificate, the company can enter into any contract, the company can acquire property on its name, etc. The management of the company is regulated by the provisions of the Companies Act like any other public limited company. I have already said this. It is as good as a joint stock company. The only difference is here more than 51% of the shares are held by the government. That is why we call it as a government company. But management of the company is regulated by the provisions of the Companies Act. So it is similar as like how the rules and regulations are followed by other public limited companies. Same way government companies according to their own rules and regulations as contained in the memorandum and articles of association of the company. The memorandum and articles of association are the main documents of the company containing the objects of the company and its rules and regulations. So employees will be appointed as how they have mentioned in rules regarding appointment of employees, what they mention in memorandum of association and articles of association. As I have already told, memorandum of association is the important document to form joint stock company as well as government company, wherein the objectives of the company are mentioned, and articles of association is also important document wherein the rules and regulations regarding internal governing of the company is mentioned. So these two documents are very important for government company. These companies are exempted from the accounting and audit rules and procedures. So there is no compulsion for audit rules, accounting and audit rules like other joint stock companies have. Here an auditor is appointed by the central government and the annual report is to be presented in the parliament. So here there are certain regulations regarding auditing. They are exempted completely from accounting and auditing rules, but government appoints an independent auditor and the report is to be submitted in the parliament. The government company obtains its funds from the government shareholdings and other private shareholders. It is also permitted to raise funds from the capital. Company can be established by fulfilling the requirements of the Indian Companies Act. A separate act in the parliament is not required. We have already seen if government is forming a statutory company, they have to pass a special resolution and a special act in the parliament, and then they can start the company. But when the government company is if the government wants to establish a government company, there is no need to pass special resolution or a special act in the parliament. It has a separate legal entity apart from the government. Obviously, though 51% of the shareholdings belongs to the government, but still it has a separate legal entity from the government. It enjoys freedom, that is autonomy, in all management decisions and takes actions according to the business prudence. So it enjoys complete freedom and takes decisions as per the business environment. These companies, by providing goods and services at reasonable prices, are able to control the market and curb unhealthy business practices. So whenever government thinks that there is a monopoly in the market and they are affecting the market situation, government can form a government company, manufacture the goods at a reasonable prices and curb the unhealthy business practices. What are the limitations? Since the government is the only shareholder in some of the companies, the provisions of the Companies Act does not have much relevance. So here in India, what happens in most of the times, government is the major shareholder or government possesses major shareholding. So obviously provisions of government provisions of Companies Act does not. It is not answerable directly to the parliament. Now though the shareholdings belongs to the government, it is not under the complete control of the government, so they are not directly answerable to the government, or they are not answerable directly in the parliament. The government being the sole shareholder, the management and administration rest in the hands of the government. The main purpose of the government company registered like other companies is defeated. Yes, this is a major limitation of government company. The government being the sole shareholder, the management and administration rest in the hands of the government. So government only runs the government companies as they have the major shareholding. So the purpose of starting a government company is not served. So these are some of the limitations of government company. A government company is one where 50 more than 51% of the shareholdings are held by the government, solely by central government, wholly by central government, or by state government, or partly by central government and partly by one or many state governments. So it is in collaboration with state or central, or individually by central or individually by state. Such companies we call it as government companies. They can be established as private limited companies or public limited companies, but they have to follow some provisions in case of appointment, retirement of directors and other managerial personnel. The shares will be purchased in the name of the President of India, though 51% is held by the government as government companies. Thank you.